What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today is a very hot and busy day in Washington, D.C. I'm downtown, just kind of hanging out, enjoying this nice warm weather. And as I enjoy this weather and enjoy the slight breeze that's cooling me off, I ponder and I think and I wonder, right? And I've been watching a lot of other people's panels on Pan-African communique or Pan-African panels, where people getting on talking about their grievances. And like I said, we got a lot of, we're getting a lot of work done as far as communication is concerned, right? The conversations are becoming more mature. They're becoming, we're getting more benefit out of those conversations. And I think it's going a great direction. But I also think for our Pan-African channels, we also need to do a few other things too, which I plan on doing once I hit 4,000 subs. I will implement it. I'm still thinking about it now, but it's going to be very tangible. It's going to be a just like a lot of our Pan-African channels are giving people opportunities to speak and change the narrative, teach and educate each other, no matter where we are in the diaspora, about our different grievances, our different issues, our different situations, how we've been manipulated. Yes, we're arguing and various things like that, but we're starting to become aware of our brothers and sisters' plights in various countries, right? So every African country, every group of people who represent every African country, or every African group of people, are starting to educate the other group on what's the plight of their people, right? And we're starting to put this puzzle, this picture together, and that's going to help us further, in the future, as far as doing things together, working together. This is the beginning, right? Never in history we had this opportunity to communicate and talk to each other and build the way we're doing now. So this is brand spanking new. So we make mistakes. That's just what's going to happen, right? Nothing's perfect. So my live shows, when I start up after I hit 4,000 subs, every live video will be about something tangible. So what that means is, if you will be coming to my live show, if you are a person like me that is looking for a partner to actually do business with. Because the thing is, we don't trust anybody, right? And that's one of the hardest things. You want to do business, you want to do things, but the task itself is daunting, right? Meaning, and the task itself can be expensive. Even though it's cheaper in Africa, it can be expensive still to operate. You got to buy tickets. You got to fly, you got to take off work. There's a lot of moving parts, and one person can't do everything, right? So a lot of people are really just waiting for someone who they can work with, someone who they can trust, or they're waiting for an idea. Maybe they want to know, okay, in this country, if I chose to spend $10,000 and put a lot of my hard-earned time into this effort, what can I get out of it? What industry do I need to go in? Who do I need to talk to? Where can I go to connect? Those are the type of things, those are the conversations I want to have, because we got plenty of panels where we're talking about, other things like banging on, the cults in our communities, or talking about controversial conversations, this versus that, us versus that, blah, blah. We already have pages doing that. And I'm pretty sure all you guys don't want to go to different Pan-African channels and listen to exactly the same thing, right? You want people to do things different. And the good thing about Pan-Africanism is that it involves so much. It's not a cult, it's an ideology, it's a way of thinking, it's a way of doing things. So there's so much space for Pan-Africanism in various different mechanisms on YouTube for social media to evolve. Now, what I'm trying to do is not as popular because it requires work. It requires people to spend money. It requires people to do boring things like learn, to do stressful things like problem solve, to do risky things like finding business partners you don't know, get to know them and getting in business together, knowing that the risk is it could fail, or that person could be trash, right? Even though you did your best due diligence, right? Or you may run into somebody that's a perfect business match for you and you go off and you do great things. That's the kind of things I want to do on my live show. And that's the direction I'm going with my show once I hit 4,000 subs. Also, if you guys notice, I'm also putting together a lot of content for far as like African history that we do not know, right? Because the powers that be always put certain heroes in our faces because they're safe for us to think about. Their ideologies are safe for us to think about. They know it won't affect them, right? And they keep circling the same 5 or 6 black heroes like that's all we got. When we have thousands upon thousands of heroes, there are thousands upon events within black history that we need to know about, so we can have a sense of racial pride, a sense of group pride, a sense of knowing who you are, knowing who your people are. It doesn't matter if your ancestry is from Nigeria. If there's something that happened in South Africa, there's a hero in South Africa, or a woman, princess, queens, or king who did something great, we should know about that, because more than likely, you know, we are connected to that. That's Africa. Those are still our heroes. It doesn't matter if the hero comes from the south of Africa, the north of Africa, the east of Africa, the west of Africa, the central Africa. Those are our heroes. Those are the people we should be looking up to, not all the European heroes that we have. Not Santa Claus, not a made-up one that that a lot of us pretend that tell our kids that's real and let the white man take credit for our gifts and stuff, or whatever, presents and stuff. So I'm just saying, we need to have our own heroes. We need to be having conversation about the people that are important in the past. We need not to let these people's deeds die. We can't let these people's deeds die. There's been a lot of history that's been hidden from us, not destroyed. A lot of history has been destroyed. There's been a lot of history that's been hidden from us by the European, because they've always been jealous of our history, so they keep it for themselves. They sell it in their auctions. They have it in their museums. They study it. They go to universities and their European institutions to learn about real African history and real African heroes, when they make sure you don't know about it, so they can continue to know and know about our history, so they can make a white equivalent. And they do that all the time. So that's the direction I'm gonna go with my channel once I hit 4,000 subs. I'm getting close, because the reason why I'm waiting for 4,000 subs, because that seems to be the number to where the ratio of people who pay attention to your channels will actually watch, and then between that ratio of people who actually watch your channels, the people who actually support you is actually another thing. So let's say you got like 100,000 subs, you'll get 10% of people watching. So you may get 10,000 people who are actively you may get 1,000 people who are actually actively paying attention to and watching your videos when they come out. Out of that 1,000, you may get 100 people that's willing to donate, or support you. Out of that 100 people, you may get maybe 10 people out of that 100 people who donate on a consistent basis, making it so that the time and effort that Pan-Africans put in to making these long-form platforms, to giving you information, to try to make platforms where we can build and things like that, can get compensated for the time, because it takes a lot of time to do a lot of these things. It's easy to go on a video, hop on a panel real quick, say something for 20-30 minutes and jump off. You can do that anytime. But to set up these panels, to take the time to do the research, to find history, to make it entertaining so you guys actually want to watch it and learn it, to get it in you guys' heads, to make y'all want to share the video, which y'all really don't do. Most people don't share videos. You're watching, you click to the next one. So we have to take all that into consideration. So, with all that being said, you got to have a passion for this to really do it, right? And that's why you see a lot of people drop off this movement, because there's no real money in it. So we rely on people's support, whether they're sharing a video or supporting financially, for us to continue to do this sustainably, because we still have to live. We still got to make our own money. We still got to do our own things. If you notice, Pan-Africans are making moves, all right? So I want to do tangible things, and I want to talk about the history that we don't know, right? Those are two things that I believe that within my capacity, I can help facilitate and actually do something for my community at this level right now where I am, right? And I can say I've done something, that I've contributed in some form or fashion. So that's what I'm going to do. And another thing we need to do, guys, we really need to create a culture of unity amongst all black people. Even though there are a lot of different individual issues within our respective countries or areas that we live in that divide us into even smaller groups, we must maintain and understand that it's that very division that is stopping us from prospering the way we all want to prosper in the first place. Meaning our actual issues that we actually have that causes us to want to splinter off into more purist groups, or smaller, more concentrated groups, because we feel like if we break off into these smaller, more concentrated groups of people who are being marginalized, that those marginalized people, because of the shared history and trauma, that they will work together and build. But sometimes that's not necessarily the case. It's not always the case. What we need to do is unite. Black people need to unite. Like Africans, African people from Nigeria, listen, specifically Igbo people. The Belfron issue, I understand that's a very touchy issue, blah blah blah. But the thing is, that's never going to happen. And if it ever were to happen, your country will be, while you continue to push your separatist movements along with every other country, group of people in Nigeria and various other West African central countries pushing for smaller divisions because of your marginalization of your particular group, all you're doing is setting yourself up for total annihilation and destruction, because you'll make yourself smaller, weaker, less capable, and then the people who are really the apex predator, that's controlling the alpha predator that's controlling you, will scoop in and take all your resources. They'll take all of you guys, right? So if you want to destroy Nigeria by talking about Belfron, you're going to destroy the one country that has the potential to bring all of black people and African people around the world up to power. It is going to be the power base of the black world, period. Whether people see it or they don't see it now or not, that's the way of the future. The way of Nigeria is the way of the black world, period. Listen to me now. The way of Nigeria is the way of the black world. So if Nigeria don't unify and create a Nigerian identity over top of these tribal identities and these little groups, if they don't become the powerhouse that they have the capability of doing anytime, at any moment, anytime they decide to do it, if they don't do that, we're all going to fail, because we won't have that example. Nigeria is the body, is the center of the black world. African Americans, we may be the most influential group, but we're not the center of the black world. We're an influential part of the black world, but Nigeria is the place, the geographical location. That is the starting point. That is the homeland. That is the power base of the black world. The Bantu, Black, West Central African, the African American, Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Latino, us, that's who we are. We are Western Central African Bantu people for the most part. That's who we are. All right, so we have to have a message of unity in Nigeria, in America. Nigerian Americans need to unify. African Americans are Nigerian. 200, 300 years removed. That's what we are. We're Nigerian. We're the same. I'm gonna call myself African from now on. Just African. I'm not even gonna say African American. I'm just saying African. I live in America. I'm African. I'm gonna go with that. African, because that's what I am. That's the truth. And I can connect with any other African just off that. We're African. So what? I'm African American. So what? I'm from Washington, D.C. Somebody can be from Florida. We have a totally different culture. Somebody from New York, we have a totally different culture. Somebody, a black person from California, we have a totally different culture. Just as separate, different, but also the same as any African culture on the continent. It's consistent throughout. And we're all still doing the same stuff, African stuff, consistently throughout. So that's the direction of my channel. And like I said, when I do my lives, I'm probably gonna start on Saturdays. All right, I'm gonna start, when I hit 4,000, I'll start on Saturdays. We'll spend the day seeing if we can find people who really wanna put boots on the ground. All right, we'll see if we can find 2 or 3 people from around the diaspora that want to work together. It ain't necessarily got to be me. I can facilitate it. It ain't necessarily got to be me working with you, but I can facilitate your group getting together. And after that, y'all go off and do your own thing, and then come back with the stories to tell us, tell us that it worked out, to motivate other people to go off and do exactly the same thing. So that's all I wanted to say for now, guys. Unity. We got to unite. Find different, more creative ways to unify. Find the commonalities so we can connect those things and unify with those things. I'll be doing that too. We'll be finding things that we all do, that we all can sit here and joke and laugh about, like, oh yeah, we do that in Nigeria too. Oh yeah, we do that in Ethiopia too. Oh man, we do that in South Africa too. Man, we do that in America too. Those type of things that you would create positive conversations that get us to unite over little things. And there's plenty of those things. I'll be doing my research on those things too. And we can have a panel talking about positive things. We're gonna eliminate a lot of the trolls. We'll let people come in and have their own various opinions, but when it comes to the trolls, we don't got time for them. We're stepping up into the big leagues. We'll leave these guys that just want to argue about stupid stuff that don't matter, have no tangibles. We'll leave them in the minor leagues. That's where they're going, because we're leveling up, okay? So that's all I wanted to say for now, guys. Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach something. I'm out.